Everyone, it's Tina. Welcome to Breastfeeding Myths Part 4. Three more myths that we're going to talk about today. And the first one is that breastfeeding will come naturally. Now, while breastfeeding is obviously a natural and a normal and a healthy and wonderful thing, it doesn't always just come easy to moms. So keep that in mind and don't expect too much out of yourself. I tell moms, do as much reading as you can. Um, hopefully I've spoken with you during pregnancy. We could talk a little bit about what breastfeeding might look like, but it can be a learning experience. It can take some time for both mom and baby to get to know each other, and to kind of just get a feel of how it's going to go, how your breastfeeding relationship is going to go. So be your own advocate and be determined, because our mindset and our determination is 90% of anything. So, but don't be surprised if there's some challenges and it's a learning experience. So yeah, keep that in mind. And it used to be that homes were filled with moms and aunts and grandmoms there to help out and to offer support. And today we're a little more isolated, but thankfully with social media and with wonderful programs like the WIC program, you can contact other moms who've been there, done that, and you can reach out and get the support that you need. So don't ever hesitate to contact me or another lactation consultant while you're getting to know your baby and trying to determine what's normal and how it's all going to look for you. So that's breastfeeding number one. Breastfeeding number two is, if you're not leaking, then you have no milk. That is not a myth. That is a myth. That is not true. I never leaked during my pregnancies. I did start to leak once baby was here, and it lasted maybe for a few weeks. Some moms continue to leak. But if you have been leaking and you stop leaking, that doesn't mean that your milk supply is going away. So don't panic. That just means that your body is understanding when to make milk and how much milk to make, supply and demand. So breastfeeding myth number two is, if you're not leaking, you have no milk. That's not true. So don't worry about that. Breastfeeding myth number three is that breastfeeding is a sure form of birth control. And I bet there are a lot of moms out there that can attest otherwise. Now, while it's true that you probably will not have your period, and I say probably not have your period while you're breastfeeding, at least for a little while, you never know when you're going to start. You never know when you're ovulating. So even though you haven't had a period, doesn't mean that you're not ovulating that month and might find yourself pregnant the following month. So talk to your doctor about birth control. Barrier method is great when you're breastfeeding. There are some pills, like mini pills, that are supposed to not affect your supply, but I have heard moms say that they think that they did affect their supply. So breastfeeding in and of itself is not a guarantee that you can't get pregnant. With my first two babies, I didn't have a period for over a year, well over a year. And when I had my third baby, interestingly enough, my stronger nurser, she nursed very well right off and often. And I started my period like within 6-8 weeks, whatever it was, like the next month. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe it was a fluke. But then, yeah, no, it was a normal period and it continued each month. So don't put too much on that. Like I said, I assumed that because with my first two, I didn't have a period for over a year, I assumed it would be the same. Yeah, I kind of felt cheated, I got to say. But so thankfully, I wasn't using breastfeeding as birth control, so don't do that. So those are your three myths for today. First one is that breastfeeding will come naturally. Reach out, get the support that you need while you're getting to know your baby, while you're establishing your breastfeeding relationship. Myth number two is that if you're not leaking, you don't have any milk. That's not true at all. And breastfeeding myth number three is that breastfeeding is a sure form of birth control. Also not true. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Don't hesitate to contact me at any time, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Bye.